firstly, I mean, differently than most, you have your own gym. So not only has this affected you as a fighter, it's affected you as a owner, a gym owner, a business owner. So speak on
that. Yeah, it's I mean, before the coronavirus, we were at our best ever. We had just kind of recovered my last UFC fight in Argentina. My gym was flooded the entire camp, so it was this huge rebuilding process. We got through that, and then we were kind of better than ever. The most members we've ever had, and we just hit our 6th year, and then this happened, and then we were down to our lowest of all time at that point. So it was a huge hit. We're still trying to recover now that we've been open for a handful of weeks, but we're still nowhere near where we were. All the gyms are struggling. Where I'm a black belt under Port City, they're struggling. Lowe's on MMA, they took a big hit. So yeah, it's been rough. But yeah, my gym Nostos MMA, we're in the recovery phase here, but we'll get through it. But yeah, it's definitely it's not easy. I've seen a lot of gyms close down for good, so it's sad to see. But thankfully, we're not going to be in that position. But it's going to take some time to get back and get over this.
And so, how good does it feel just to be able to open your doors again? I'm assuming it was months, and then just to finally get to that step where you can open, and now things are hopefully going to move forward in a better direction.
Yeah, I mean it's huge. There's a lot of people that can't find self-motivation, and they need the gym to get training. Some people are super motivated, came in shape, and that was cool to see. But there's really, like, not to go in details on like who or whatever, but I mean, I know people that because of their gyms closing down, they've relapsed and stuff. So it's like literally life changing being able to go to the gym and have that outlet every single day, and then have it pulled away. It's literally caused some serious depressions, and as I said, some people having withdrawals or not withdrawals, but relapses and things like that. And it's crazy. So it's so nice to see these people back in the gym again. Just everyone's so happy and thankful to be out in public and seeing their friends again, and just getting to work. Just having that mat therapy is huge.
Yeah, and I'm glad to hear that those people are back in the gym, and hopefully doing better. So you had your first Bellator win, at Mohegan Sun last October. To fight under Bellator, to get that win, speak through that. You had some hardships with the UFC, with injuries, and just to get that win in Mohegan Sun, what's going through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. I wanted to make sure that I stayed on a worldwide stage, and I thought Bellator was the perfect place, and I could be near home. So my last UFC fight, it was it is what it is. I was in physical therapy for my back when I signed the contract, and I was basically just told that I kind of had to take it, so we did. So I did my PT every day, and then my gym flooded before I even signed the contract. So thankfully, I was able to go to Joe's gym twice a week, but everything was kind of like real rough for that. And then I got in the fight, and I honestly felt good. And then the second round, I went blind in my right eye due to a high FEMA, which completely obstructed my vision for rounds 2 and 3. And I just felt like everything was wrong. Like nothing felt like that was the way it was supposed to kind of play out after such a big win in the UFC. But it is what it is. I was told to go win a couple local fights, and then they bring me back because they liked me a lot. But I didn't find interest in fighting a local show. I wanted to have a big crowd. I wanted to have the lights. I fought and trained so long that once I had it, I didn't want to step away from it. So we spoke with Bellator, and they gave me a contract for a 1-fight deal. And I got over 35 million views from that one finish. Everything went perfect. I felt great. I fought a really good D1 wrestler who was Frankie Edgar's roommate, who's a brown belt under Henzo. So someone like that wanted to grapple with me, that wanted to try and submit me, it was the perfect opponent, because it made an exciting fight. And also it wasn't somebody that's just trying to waste time. If you watch back some of my fights, Any ones that I lost by decision is people trying to waste time, either standing over me, not giving me the space to stand up, but not ever trying to grapple with me and not trying to beat me on my feet either, really. So, um, yeah, he was a perfect opponent. Um, and it was just my night, and everything played out perfectly. And now I'm hoping that they'll give me a legit contract. I know the main card fighters get paid well. My first fight, I had to prove my worth, and I think I did that. I got on Sports Center with Bellator's cage, and I would love to be a company man. Right now, I don't have a contract, so if I got a call saying, "Hey, we need someone fight Island," I could go ahead and do that. I want to fight, and I want to get paid for what I do. So yeah.
Absolutely. And in fighting, Marcus, obviously, like you said, strong grappler, D1 wrestler, how did it feel to, like you said, in the hardships of some of the UFC fights you had, injuries, kind of being forced to fight, to go into the cage and really fight his fight and submit him at the end of the second round? How good did that feel?
It felt awesome, and I mean, I hope he hears this little piece is that he's the closest to ever putting me in legitimate danger ever in a fight, like ever. He went for head and arm, and it was a completely legitimate attack, and he finishes people with that sub. And part of me was like, I mean, obviously, like, it's an oh crap moment, but when it's all said and done, I'm like, man, like this kid, he gave me the toughest fight of my life, because I had to actually, for the first time in my career, I had to defend a submission, and I drilled it and drilled it and drilled it because I saw what he could do. But I just managed to get out, and I ended up on the on the top that night, and it was amazing, and I'm super thankful that I get to share the cage with him, and I hope he gets another real good fight soon. I know that I think he was supposed to fight that night, that everything got pulled the night of weigh-ins, actually the day of the fight, which was crazy. But
Yep, day of the fight.
yeah, I think I think it was a perfect matchup for everyone to watch that likes grappling, and even on our feet. I was trying to throw crazy elbows and just be active, and prove my worth. Again, that's the big thing: prove what I'm worth, and I think I kind of did that.
Absolutely. And so, like you said, you had a one fight deal with Bellator. You are currently a free agent. Is that correct? I'm sorry, you broke up there.
Yeah, correct. I am a free agent. I'm free as a bird. If somebody's willing to offer me that payday, man, I would love to see a decent number for the first time in my career, really. But yeah, I think I'm an exciting fighter as long as I get given a matchup with somebody that's looking to go and take my head off. If we got two people that are trying to go forward, trying to submit each other, knock each other out, you're going to see a really good fight.
Absolutely. And would
But
you?
yeah, I'm pretty.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, the big thing with this point in my career is just kind of bucket list stuff, like big moment fights. Like I see Bellator does the cards in Japan with the Risen thing, like that right there would be a dream come true to fight in Japan. I obviously love the fact that I had fans at my last fight. It had a couple hundred people there, which I haven't had people see me fight since I fought on the Dana White show, because I fought Oklahoma, Arizona, Calgary, Argentina, just nowhere near Maine. Everyone I had to fly to. So it was awesome. But at the same time, I'm always down to travel, to see the world, to fight. Those are also incredible moments, and things to put on my bucket list, or check off my bucket list rather.
And so, do you have, is Bellator the goal? Would you, if they came with a multi-fight deal, for the money you're asking, is that your number one? Would you go back to the UFC on a, one or two fight deal? What's going through your head right now as a free agent?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I would love to get the deal. I'm trying to tag the right people, the matchmakers, Bellator and Post, trying to share stuff from Bellator. I just want it to be known that, like, if they need me with the UFC, I'm 100% there. Like Fight Island, I would love to do that. But at the same time, if Bellator called me today and said, "Hey, we know what you did that night. You know, know, you got us 35 million views across a ton of different platforms on SportsCenter, all this stuff. Like you know, we appreciate what you did, and we want to give you a chance at a good contract. I would love to do that. I would sign that in a heartbeat because I loved working with Bellator. They just really haven't talked to me much, but I did tear my knee in that fight. I had to have knee surgery, and I'm good to go. I've been training super hard, you know, so that could be part of it. But I think at this point, they're supposed to have a card coming up, I believe, in July. So I'd love to hear from them. So.
And so have you, you know, I'm guessing as an MMA fan, a former UFC fighter, you've been watching the UFC cards. You know, what do you think of all this, that they're the first ones back? You know, would you like Bellator, like there's rumors, like you said, late summer that Bellator is coming back. Would you like Bellator to be jumping in here with UFC and, you know, getting back into fighting?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any negative repercussions for any of this, you know, so um, if Dana White took a shot at this and it all kind of fell apart, you know, everyone would be like, "We told you so," whatever. But the fighters have a choice. Like he's very vocal about that too. Nobody has to fight. You get the call. What they do with their contract is basically they need to offer you at least 3 within the year, or I believe they have to pay you out. So they always make sure they offer you the fights. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it really. You know, they have a full medical team. I feel like the only problem would be like maybe if fighters have to go to the hospital, because I mean I almost always have to go to the hospital after I fight because I always bust my feet open or you know, a broken nose, broken orbital, torn knee, whatever. If they have to bring them into like a heavily like COVID, you know, a COVID heavy spot, you know, where a lot of people are sick or whatever, and you have to bring the fighters in to get checked up, whatever. But I don't think anything bad has happened yet, and I think so many people are just thankful to get fights. Like my buddy Charles Rosa had a tough loss, and then he was able to avenge it less than a month later. So being able to bang out those fights and get paid is huge. So yeah, I think it's awesome. I'd love to see Bellator follow in those footsteps and do it correctly and safely, and let me get on one of those historic cards.
Absolutely. And so if Bellator comes back late summer, if you get a call saying, here's your deal, we want you back in there, is there anyone, you know, in the lightweight, welterweight division that you really want, that someone's just going to excite everyone and just you two going at it?
Yeah, you know, I've said this a bunch of times, and by this time I should honestly know the guy's name, but a friend, Nick Newell, fought a guy, and he was just, it wasn't a good night for him. You know, I think he would beat him most of the time, but he lost to an individual, I believe, that trains at Jackson Wink. If you have access, if you're on the computer, whatever,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
sure you
going to
can
look
see
it up
in
right
2
now.
seconds. But the same night I fought, and the only reason I say it is because he's an exciting fighter. He won the same night I won, both at 155, and he fought on the main card. I want to be on the main card. I want to be on TV. I want to get paid. I want to grow my fan base. All this stuff at this point in my career, like I want to be able to go and pay off some of my house. You know, I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor, because I have my academy, and it obviously went through a crazy time. But I don't need a fight for the money. So if I'm gonna fight, I want to get paid well. You know, I can just focus on my gym, and I can, you know, I can walk away from fighting, and I can make a living and do well. But if I'm gonna get paid and go to the hospital every time and get surgeries and all this stuff, I'd love to get a contract that like when I go, I don't you know, I've had fights where I'm in the back and I get my check handed to me in the UFC, and I literally break down in tears. You know, it's like I have to go home. You know, you pay for 2 corners to fly out. You know, you fly into Argentina, $1,500 each person. For me, it's three people I have to pay to fly out. So you take that out of a, you know, a tough fought decision loss. All your taxes, all your money for food and all this stuff, like it's not much left. So yeah, I'd love to not ever feel that way again. And who knows if that's possible? You know, I'm I'm really not looking to fight unless I can look at the payday and be happy with it. You know, and like um, you know, I'm not looking like, hey, I want 50 and 50. You know what I mean? Like it's the starting pay with the UFC is 10 and 10. I would like to be, you know, a little more than that at this point in my life. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And his name is Manny Muro.
What is it? One more time, Manny.
Manny Muro. Yep. And so
Cool. Yeah, and I mean, I never. Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say I never have anything negative to say about pretty much anyone I fight. You know, Marcus was one of the nicest people I ever fought, and that's happened so many times. Horcher was one of the nicest guys I ever fought. There's only one time where there's a little animosity, and it is when, you know, where what's his name? My first UFC fight. I can't even think of his name right now. Jakar Close didn't want to shake my hand after the fight was over. That was only like the biggest thing ever in my career. It was like, wow, this guy doesn't want to shake my hand. But then we, you know, there was a night where we were all partying down after a UFC card. He was there and we were taking shots together. So like, I don't have anything against that kid. I just think it makes sense. We're both in the sport doing the same thing. Both won the same night. He was on the main card, and I want that. So that's the reason that it makes sense to me.
And last question for me.